Hello my friends, and welcome back to another Brotato Danger 5 random run, where we take two random characters, combine them using the GMO mod, grab a random weapon, and try to beat Danger 5 with the resulting monstrosity. Hope you're all doing well. As always, of course, we're picking our random characters using the wheel, so let's see what we've got. We are playing with... Oh, is it going to tick over? Okay, the Jack. So the Jack is a very, very powerful character, obviously, but definitely there are some combinations of other character and weapon that can make it incredibly difficult. So let's see what we've got. And we have the Captain Jack. Well, that's a well-known character, so we'll have to play that guy. All right, so Captain and Jack together, and let's find where the rum has gone. We're going to look for what random weapon we've got, and it's Slingshot. Slingshot, not bad for this, but not amazing. The low damage to single targets is going to be tough with the Jack, and as the Captain, of course, you definitely want weapons that do really well when you only have one of them. Slingshot is okay for that, but it's certainly not the best possible. Obviously, this opening wave is going to be really good for us. We're just going to get a lot of extra materials here, or we'll get a decent number of materials here, but we'll get a lot of extra stats when we hit this first level up screen. Just to remind you how these characters work, the Captain gets extra XP for empty weapon slots and gets double stats from level ups, but enemies increase in health and damage, and you take 3 times as much XP as normal to level up. The Jack also has increased enemy health and damage, though the Captain's increase will not be significant because this is additive, not multiplicative. And so the amount that the Captain is increasing enemy damage won't make a significant difference compared to the amount the Jack already does. We also do extra damage against elites and bosses and drop 3 times as many materials as normal from enemies, but have many fewer enemies on the field. So when you're playing this character, luck is really important, because higher level ups are really good for the Captain. On the other hand, if we get 10 harvesting early, that's just so strong, so I'm going to roll here and we'll pick up 10 harvesting right away. I'm going to lock this Slingshot, and as much XP gain as you can find on the Captain as is going to be incredible, so you always want to pick that up. Peaceful Bee we're going to avoid here, since it reduces our ranged damage. We want to be able to kill enemies with only 1 or 2 weapons as much as possible. So, of course, we're going to not buy that. We'll buy a Slingshot here, we'll lock a tree, and I'll roll and lock another Slingshot. Then I'm going to combine. So here you can see that I have 240% XP gain. That means that we're leveling slightly faster than a normal character would be at this point, because it takes 3 times as much to level up, but we're getting a little more than 3 times as much every time we pick up a material. So as long as you have 2 or fewer weapons on the Captain, you are leveling faster than a normal character. With 3 weapons, you're leveling slightly slower. The challenge here is that we currently are, of course, struggling to do enough damage to clear these enemies. And you can see there that trees do benefit from the extra HP that the Jack gives enemies, so they can sometimes be really hard to kill. Having 2 weapons was nice for this wave because it meant that we killed more enemies faster. I'm going to roll here. I'm looking for harvesting or luck, and I will take 10 luck because if we can get higher level ups to appear early, that's massive for us. And then I'm going to take 10 luck again. We should be able to get another harvesting upgrade, and I really want more powerful levels to appear. Take another Slingshot here, and then we'll roll, and I'll roll again. I still want to get weapon levels, so I'm still rolling for Slingshots, so we're going to go ahead and lock that one, and then I have a choice. I could either go for a level 3 and a level 1 Slingshot and maintain my XP gain for a little longer, or I could go for 3 weapons in the hopes that it lets me kill a few more enemies. I think for this character combo, we can get away with having only 2 weapons for this wave, because the amount of damage that we need to do per enemy is still not so high that we can't do it with 2 Slingshots, and we will still be bouncing shots between enemies regularly, even if there's many fewer on the map, because we're playing the Jack. getting a couple levels here, and obviously when you're playing the captain, you want to level as early as possible. Later on in the game, you're going to need to pick up more weapons, and we'll start leveling slower, so the sooner you get these really valuable stat increases, the better. Picking up 20 luck there means we're very likely to find higher levels in the future, and we'll take 16 harvesting as well. The 4 ranged damage was also extremely tempting, but I think we're better off with this setup. I'll take the Scar and Tree, and I will still buy Feather. It gives us ranged damage, which we need for our slingshots, and although it costs me XP gain, which is a very valuable stat on this character, we still want to buy it. We'll pick up another Scar here, and Insanity, I think I will lock this. Slingshot does have 2x critical damage, so we can go ahead and pick that up, and Feather, is it good enough to lock? I don't think so. I am going to ban the alien tongue out. We would much rather have Baby Gecko as our way to pick up extra materials, so we're going to ban that. We will lock a helmet here. And again, I think we can get away with only 2 weapons, though I may regret that this wave, because I haven't increased my damage that much. Obviously, I'm going to regret just walking into every enemy at the beginning of this wave. I haven't increased my damage that much, and this is the Lamprey wave, so I'm a little worried about that. But I feel like we should have the damage to kill it or the health to survive it. It's a lot easier to play against the Lamprey when there's fewer enemies on the field, as with the Jack, because there's just less stuff that you have to avoid while you're running around avoiding the Lamprey. I'll definitely take some additional, so although I made that harder than it needed to be by walking into a bunch of enemies right at the beginning, we were still able to survive. I will definitely take the fresh meat. Lifesteal is incredible on the slingshot, because you're just dealing damage all over the map, and this is why we bought all this early luck. 4 ranged damage is amazing. 90 range is a little more interesting. If range normally came in increments this large, it would be a much more interesting stat. I think I'm still going to pass on it, but it is worth noting that if you get a few hundred points of range, then it's fine. It's just not normally possible to get that. We'll take 20 attack speed here, and that's an excellent find for us. I'll buy a slingshot, and I do think we need to have 3 weapons going into this next wave, so we will hang on to the slingshot there, and then we'll go ahead and buy a coupon and lock another slingshot. I want to buy the coupon first, and I think we can get away with 3 weapons on wave 5, again, to maximize my XP gain. This character can level its weapons a little bit slower, because doing so just gets us more levels. Also, that 4 ranged damage that I picked up gives us a lot of extra leeway. We just have so much more clear speed now. Trying to kill these buffing aliens, though. I'm not specifically avoiding targeting the purse aliens, but they do have very high health, so they are somewhat hard to kill. And I definitely want to pick up some materials, so we probably won't end up getting a lot of curse alien kills early on. We'll take the fresh meat there, and then, yeah, we'll take a level 4 damage upgrade. The attack speed might even be more powerful, the level 3 attack speed upgrade, but percent damage is somewhat hard to get for this character combo, so let's just pick this up. Take the slingshot. This is such a high economy run, I'm going to pick up the spyglass as well. I think it will be good for us, and we'll take a weird food, and then roll. Buy a slingshot and a beanie. I'm going to go ahead and ban out the boiling water, and we'll roll again. I'm just banning any item that I'm not interested in buying. We're not going to do regen on this character. We're going to go with lifesteal as our healing method of choice. So let's go ahead and ban this mushroom, and then we'll roll again. And bag, tentacle, and blood leech are all fairly interesting. Tentacle is pretty good. We have some crit chance, so that's a lot of healing. Obviously, bag is amazing. And then blood leech, I think, is worth taking. Even though I said I wasn't going to build regen, if we end up with a bunch of regen, it's okay, and the lifesteal is still good. Slingshots, I'm going to combine here. Do I want to go down to 3 weapons? Do I think I can get away with that for 1 more wave? I think I'm going to stick with 4. I was feeling a little like we were struggling to kill enemies, so even though we'll level a little slower, we'll kill more things and maybe get more XP as a result, but also just be in much less danger with 4 weapons. And this is such a powerful character combination, I don't really want to throw it, but obviously the Jack and the Captain both increase enemy damage. So although this character is super powerful, we're going to get tons of economy and lots of damage and everything. We can still die in 1 or 2 hits just because the enemies are so buffed that we're facing. So even with our wild income and really high economy boosts, this run is, I'm not going to say hard, but more dangerous than it looks. Alien Worm, we have +2 consumable heal, so I will take that. I do want a little more max HP, and then again, our 40 luck coming in handy, because we get a 6 ranged damage upgrade. That is so huge, it's going to make our slingshots vastly better. Buy out this entire shop, and then do a reroll, and Sharp Bullet, another excellent find for us. Let's buy the recycling machine first, though, because obviously we have 40 luck, we're going to get a lot of crate drops, and the extra luck will help. And the recycling machine will help those crates be worth more, so it also multiplies the value of our extra luck. We're going to ban Riposte, and we're going to lock Sharp Bullet, and then do some re-rolling. I do still need to find a couple more slingshots, and hey, we did. Claw Tree, I think I'm going to... So this is an interesting spot, actually. If I'm banning Claw Tree, then I think it's correct here to lock it, because then we can buy the other 3 items and then ban the Claw Tree, and then we get a free reroll. So we actually gain some money by locking it and get a full free reroll of the whole shop instead of just one reroll of a quarter of the shop. I'm going to lock the Claw Tree. I might ban it. I might buy it because the crit chance is still good, but I think it's right to lock it either way. That's a really interesting spot that the ban system adds to the game, because if you ban the last item in a shop, you get a free reroll. So if there's an item you really don't want, and 3 items that you do want, or an item that you feel okay banning, and then 3 items that you do want, it can be correct to lock the item that you want to ban in order to be able to ban it while getting a free reroll. Assuming that you'll have enough money, obviously, to buy the other 3 items in the shop. But that's not going to be a problem for this character combination. As you can see, the Jack's income is pretty ridiculous, and alongside the extra harvesting and luck that the Captain gives us, it's just going to be absurd. Snowball, I could ban, and we'd get 50 materials. Obviously, we don't care about the Snowball, but I think it's worth spending 50 materials basically on 1 ban for this character. Again, this is a super high economy run, so if we take the Snowball here, it costs me 50, but it doesn't cost me a ban to remove it from the pool. And as a unique weapon, getting rid of it matters a lot. Or a unique item. Here I'm going to take 6 armor. Actually, I think I'm going to take 18 dodge. It's going to be really easy for us to get to dodge cap if I take these 18 dodge upgrades when we level up and see them. So getting that early will make the future ones better. Obviously, I'll need to pick up some armor as well, but armor is a little easier to find from items than dodge is. Dodge typically comes from levels primarily. Go ahead and buy this injection and laser turret. I don't particularly want. I've banned kind of randomly from level 2 and level 3 so far. So the question is, do I want to, or level 1 and level 2 so far. So the question is, do I want to ban a level 3 item? I think the answer is no, because I really want more powerful XP gain items to show up at level 1. And so I'd like to mostly ban level 1 items if possible. We'll go ahead and ban charcoal here, and we'll buy the weird food. Chameleon. Even though I'm building dodge, 119 for 3 dodge, it's not worth it here. But bag and propeller hat are both excellent finds. I could ban Claw Tree now. I decided to buy it just because I didn't really care about losing the HP, and the crit chance I think is still good. I think I'm going to roll past the claw tree, and we'll see if we can find other good items for us. I have 20 attack speed, but let's lock the bone dice. I definitely want that one. Do I want the missile? I think we will pass on missile, but I'll leave it in the pool. I'll take another blood leech. I do want my lifesteal to increase. These have been kind of weird shops where we keep getting items that are on the border between worth buying and not worth buying. And I've ended up buying most of them because it's better to spend your money in this game, so even if you get kind of mid items, it's often better to just buy them. But these shops definitely could have had more optimal items for us that we'd have been more certain we wanted to pick up. I also went up to 6 weapons here. I'm okay losing some XP. And you typically need to do that on the captain at some point. I could maybe have greeded for fewer weapons for a little bit longer, but I think being able to just kill everything very reliably is going to be the most important thing. We'll look for some XP gain items soon. If I get another big damage or attack speed item, I may combine back down to 3 items, but I was a little worried about my HP, a little worried about my damage output. We'll go ahead and ban the glasses out. 18 move speed is a really nice find. We definitely want to increase that, and then let's go ahead and buy these things. We'll roll. Eye patch gives us extra piercing. We already have +1 pierce though, so I think I'm gonna ban the eye patch because 1 piercing is fine alongside the bouncing shots that slingshots have. We'll buy the butterfly, and I think what I'm gonna do here is spend my last ban on the scarf. I don't really need scarf. It's a pretty dangerous item, and this just gets me a free reroll, so worth banning, even if it's not the perfect item to ban. We'll definitely take a whistle here, and then I'll take the penguins just to remove those from the pool. Clockwork Wasp I think I can pass on, and I'll roll again, lock a slingshot, and a bat. So I haven't increased my damage significantly, so I'm going to stay with 6 weapons for a little bit longer. Because enemies like that Hatcher are really difficult to fight if your damage is low. I'm a little worried that the Gobbler is going to eat all of our materials, and then I simply won't have the single target damage to kill it. So it's at about half health. So yeah, we're fine. I'm going to let it eat a few more materials and try to get the maximum profit from it. Because when it eats materials, and then you kill it, it multiplies the value of the materials that it drops. So you can see there, we got a lot of extra money by letting it feast for a little bit. Extra enemy spawns are another reason that level 1 items are really good for this character, so I think I'm happy with our strategy of mostly banning from level 1. And that's part of why I'm going to buy a fairly inefficient regen item like the penguin. If we buy 3 of those, it removes them from the pool. Here's another 18 dodge, so we should be able to hit 60 dodge relatively soon. Let's go ahead and buy some items here. Baby Elephant is a way to kill enemies. It's typically pretty bad on the Jack, just because the damage doesn't keep up with the increased enemy health. But each enemy drops 3 materials, so the damage triggers more often. But on this character, I think the Baby Elephant's going to be pretty good. Because I'm incentivized to have fewer than the maximum number of weapons, so being able to still kill things is great. We'll take the hunting trophy. It's going to be much less efficient on the Jack, obviously, but still worth picking up, I think. And then I've got 18 speed, so I don't need Terrified Onion. I'll buy the Ice Cube to remove it from the pool, and also because if I find a Scared Sausage, then that will just be a bunch of extra damage, so it's going to be really nice there. And then we'll lock a Fruit Basket and a Triangle of Power, buy a Fresh Meat, and I think I'm going to combine 2 of my slingshots here, and we'll just get a little bit more XP gain for Wave 10. Wave 10 is typically the farming wave in Abyssal Terrors, so we're incentivized to try to get as much money out of it as possible. So you can see we're killing enemies a little slower. But because I did manage to get a few damage increases in the last couple shops, I think 5 weapons will be just fine. You don't have to get maximum greedy when you're playing the captain. You can pick up a full weapon set much sooner than you probably are thinking when you're playing that character. And obviously, when you're playing the Jack, killing enemies is the main challenge because the Jack just takes care of your economy for you by having so many economic boosts since enemies drop way more materials. Go ahead and kill this loot alien. We also did get that curse alien kill, so you can see we've built up a little bit of curse as well. If we find some cursed items or weapons, that would obviously be amazing. Community support definitely weaker on this character since there's so many fewer enemies and our bouncing shots are going to kill them quickly, but I think it's still worth taking. Scar is obviously awesome. I'll take a level 3 upgrade here, and then Fruit Basket. Triangle of Power, definitely worth grabbing for this character. We do not intend to take hits. I could take Sad Tomato. My max HP is terrible going into this elite wave. That is one thing that I am struggling with here. But the Sad Tomato gives us a little bit of extra regen, pulls a unique out of the pool. Let's go ahead and buy it, and then I'm going to pick up a slingshot and another one. I definitely want 6 weapons when we're going into the elite fight, and we'll go do that now. So this enemy is actually a little bit harder than... this is one of the harder ones for this particular character because the early stage is actually fairly difficult. And it does do a lot of damage. And it's hard to not move when you're playing this character, which is what this elite wants you to do. Fortunately, the bouncing shots are still taking care of most enemies, but you have to not move when you're playing against the jellyfish because it doesn't attack directly at you. But if we didn't have the damage to clear everything else, which it turned out we mostly did, then we'd have had to dodge while also not running into the jellyfish attacks, which can be fairly difficult. Also, I had 35 HP, so I definitely need to pick up some additional health. I will say I'm playing this one kind of fast and loose. This is a very powerful character combination, so I'm getting a little sloppy with my plays and purchases here. We'll take 5 ranged damage, and definitely going to take additional dodge. Losing the armor and max HP is very bad, but getting to 60 dodge is really nice. Recycle, Terrified Onion, Frog. I think I'm going to recycle as well. I want to keep my dodge high, and I don't really need more harvesting at this point. Take 30 attack speed, but we're just going to take 18 HP. That really fixes the problems that we're having with low armor and low HP. Grab the Corrupted Shard and Lucky Charm and roll. Pick up a coupon and a slingshot. I will take the Alloy. Alloy gives me 3 more ranged damage, great for slingshots, and 5 crit chance, great for our crit synergy. It does cost me 6 dodge, but if we get a dodge level up, that will be more than enough to get us over dodge cap anyways. I'm going to take the black belt here because XP gain is so good on the captain, and then we'll lock slingshot and jerky. And since I have a slingshot locked in the shop, I'm going to go ahead and combine, and we'll play with only 5 weapons for this round. Get a little bit more in the way of XP gain. Playing Captain Jack here, and I'm realizing I actually have no idea how many Pirates of the Caribbean movies there are. I think they kept making them. I saw the first 3, but I think there's like way more than that, right? Here I'm going to take the additional armor. Obviously, we're very happy with the helmet. Mammoth, we're going to recycle. The 5 regen's okay, but losing damage and move speed is pretty bad. I could take 20 more luck here. We do have 92 luck, though, so I think I can get a level 3 upgrade, and I'll roll, and in fact, we got a level 4 upgrade. 8 armor kind of solves the problems that this character has. Going up to 13 armor here. We'll take the jerky, we'll take the alien magic. It does cost me luck, which is a little painful, but now we've got 9 regen and 56 HP, so we're in much better shape. I will pick up a Triangle of Power. I'll pass on the plant. We are still mostly lifesteal focused, even if I've ended up with some regeneration. And then, alright, we've got triple Triangle on this character. That's kind of fun. Do a reroll here, and a Black Belt I will still take. Again, XP gain is amazing. And we'll take the Baby Squid as well. We're just trying to get to the point where even the increased damage and health of like a powerful cursed enemy combined with a late game elite can't kill us, so more defensive stats are good. Also, I want to pick up that dodge level up to get to 60 dodge. That would be the most efficient thing for us right now. More damage as well to be able to clear elites and bosses faster. And if I was able to pick up a gentle alien, or a mouse would be even better, that would vastly increase my economy. Just bouncing shots off of this hacker. Abyssal Terrors for the Jack is a little tough in the later game because so few enemies spawn. Abyssal Terrors just has fewer enemies than Crash Zone, that your economy can start to fall behind a little bit. Obviously, we're really strong at this point, so it's not a worry for this character, really, with the combined characters, but you can start to lose out on income later on. We'll take 30 more attack speed here, and then this is an awesome shop that I'm going to buy all of. Do a reroll. I'll take a tractor, and coffee and wings are both pretty good. Actually, do I need the movement speed? Not really. So I've got 32 movement speed, so let's pass on the wings here. I think I do need 6 weapons for the Horde Wave. Also, we can have a Horde Wave on the Jack, which is weird. Normally the Jack can't spawn Horde Waves, but because this is the GMO mod, we were able to. Basically, the way that the GMO mod works behind the scenes is you're not actually playing both of these characters. You are playing a blank character with no properties. And then you have items that have the properties of those characters that are given to you at the start of the run. So the normal hidden properties of characters, like the restricted shopping lists and features like the Jack's inability to roll Horde Waves, don't function in this mod because you're not actually playing the Jack. You're playing just a normal potato, but with an item called Jack that gives you the stuff that Jack normally gets. I will take the feather here. Again, we want additional dodge and range damage, of course. And then, yep, 40% attack speed. This is why we invested in luck early. I'll definitely take the coffee. I will buy the mutation. More ranged damage, still good. And we'll keep leveling our lifesteal as well. Pass on all of these items. Estes Couch does not make sense to buy for this character. I'll take a head injury here, and we'll roll again. Sure, we can buy a fish hook. Decomposing flesh. I guess I already have so much lifesteal, so if I'd gotten this earlier, it would have been pretty good, but we're at the point where we just don't need it now. Take the metal. I'll take the snail, and I'll lock Alien Eyes. Jelly, I guess I'll lock it. If it gets cursed, we have a fish hook, so if it gets cursed, it's fine. Cursed pufferfish, remaining dangerous as always. Though I do know that the bug was related to charming them. The one where I got one shot that one time. So I don't have to worry about every cursed pufferfish, just when you're playing romantic or with flute. For some reason, I was desperately attracted to that projectile. I needed to go play catch with it. Yep, we'll keep taking XP gain even this late. When you're playing the captain, XP gain is so incredibly valuable that it's almost always worth grabbing it. basically until the last couple waves. Neither of these got cursed, so I'm going to pass on both of them. We'll take the bag here. Wheelbarrow we don't really need at this point. I will take an injection, although I obviously need to get some more max HP. Gentle Alien is a great way to get max HP and way more money. And then Power Generator is awesome. I'm going to buy all of these items, though, so let's lock the Power Generator, and I'll buy these other two, and then we have a decent chance with our pity bonus. We have a 30% chance of cursing this Power Generator, and I'd rather curse it than the other two, so I think it is worth locking it for one wave. If it doesn't get cursed, I'll still buy it. But given that it's a choice between locking those other two items and locking the Power Generator, I'm going to lock the one that gives us the chance of cursing the most powerful item. Clockwork Wasp also I wouldn't normally buy if there wasn't a Power Generator also in the shop, because obviously we don't have any structures, so structure attack speed is not hugely significant for this character. But when it comes with a little bit of extra percent damage, and the move speed is still good, then it can be pretty nice. Trying to clear as many of these curse aliens as possible and build up some curse. The lower enemy spawns, of course, on this character do make it harder to get curse, because fewer curse aliens spawn. I'm going to take 8 armor here, and now we're much harder to kill with 24 armor. Oh hey, plan success. We got the cursed Power Generator, so now every point of speed is worth 2% damage, and our percent damage gets reduced less, so you benefit both on the front and back end of buying Power Generator here, and we're up to 211% damage. We'll take the Slingshot. Lighthouse, just don't have a use for engineering right now, so I'm just going to roll past that. We'll buy the Lumberjack shirt, we'll go ahead and lock a Slingshot, we'll still lock the Scar, even this late it's going to be good, and Adrenaline, if it gets cursed, that pushes me almost to dodge cap, and is obviously the effect of it will still be pretty nice. It is funny how many attacks it's still taking me to kill, like that cursed healer. The healers have damage reduction just on this map. The healers have damage reduction just like the Mantis Shrimp do. So you can see they're taking less damage than other enemies when we attack them. Also, I can't remember, is the Jack supposed to spawn 4 lampreys, even with a ranged weapon from the blobfish, or is it reduced normally? Okay, yeah, that one only spawned 3. So yeah, I think the Jack is supposed to get reduced spawns from blobfish. Sure, I'll take the fertilizer. It might be worth an extra level. And then here I'm going to take 18 dodge, I think. I do really need to get over dodge cap. So although the 6 ranged damage would be very powerful as well, getting to 60 dodge would be nice. Unfortunately, the Adrenaline didn't get cursed, but I will still buy it. It can be some okay healing for us. And then we'll roll, buy a treasure map and a tentacle. Defective steroids I'm going to lock here. I want the extra max HP, and if it gets cursed, then we'll lose less attack speed for buying it. Do some rerolls, and Starfish is not particularly strong going into wave 19, but we're going to buy it anyways just for fun. Ashes is very strong going into wave 19, especially if it gets cursed, so we're definitely buying that. So trying to focus some damage on the elite here, trying to maintain my spacing from it so we can be hitting it. Whoops. Walked right into that attack for no reason at all. Can't say this has been a masterclass in movement this run, I have to admit. I've had a few people ask me if I think I'm making more mistakes now, because I think I've probably started mentioning mistakes more in these runs. And I think there's a combination of I'm playing more casual runs typically. Like this one, I'm playing a much more casual run, so I am less in serious mode when I'm playing this run. So I'm making I'm focusing less intensely. But also because I'm so much more familiar with the game now, I am noticing mistakes that I make that I just wouldn't have noticed before. So part of why I'm talking about mistakes more often in these more recent runs, speaking of mistakes, I forgot I had locked this defective steroid. Part of why I'm talking about mistakes more in these more recent runs is that I'm noticing mistakes that I simply wouldn't have noticed before because I'm better at the game now. And I'll lock the slingshot here, and we'll lock insanity. Spyglass and treasure map we can pass on, of course, because we're going into wave 19, so those economy items are not that valuable. But a fun exercise whenever you're trying to improve at something can be if you have a recording or an example of something that you did even a few months earlier, going back and looking at it and seeing all the mistakes that you didn't even know you were making at the time can be very instructive, I think, and also gives you a good idea of how much you've improved over that time. We'll take the hedgehog here and then 8 more armor up to 31 armor. So stats are getting kind of out of hand on this character. Let's take 24% damage here, and then I'll buy a slingshot. Tragically, neither of those got cursed. We'll take an insanity, and then we'll reroll. Buy a corrupted shard and another slingshot. 2 range damage for 238. I don't think it's actually worth it when we have 30 range damage. I'm going to roll for something a little more fun. We'll see if we find anything really cool. I will keep leveling my weapons, though. Do some more rerolls. There we go. We got a cursed slingshot. That counts as cool. I could buy the mirror, but there's no guarantee we get something worth duplicating with the mirror, so I think I'm going to pass on that. Oh, perfect. Well, obviously, you simply cannot be the king of Brotato or the ocean without a crown, so let's go ahead and pick that up, and then we'll go to wave 20. Took me a while to find a clear path to get in range of one of these elites. Did get that kill. Just for fun, I'm trying not to take any hits this wave, but I did, in fact, take a hit as soon as I said that out loud, which I knew I would. I knew the second I said, okay, I'm trying to go no hit on this run, even though we could easily heal through it, I would immediately walk into a projectile, so of course that's exactly what happened. But even with the increased enemy health from the bosses, we were able to take them down from the Jax passive for bosses. We were able to take them down pretty darn quickly. Our stats obviously are wildly out of hand on this character because this combination gives you such massive economy, which we were able to use pretty well. Saved 700 materials with our coupons, 237 with Spyglass. On a really high economy run like this, Spyglass is typically going to be pretty good. Bags gave us 765 materials, actually kind of low for 3 bags. But I guess with fewer enemies on the field, you have fewer chances to drop crates, so less value from bags. Recycling machine was okay, but honestly, I took a lot of items from crates that I probably should have recycled, so it got less value than it should have. Snowball actually got me 4 elemental damage. Wow, this bone dice was amongst the worst to ever do it. 18 damage for 5 HP, and the normal ratio would be 25 damage for 5 HP, because you should get 5 to 1. So the bone dice here were terrible. Let's see, what else? 35k damage from Baby Elephant, so it wasn't bad. 172 materials from Hunting Trophy, so again, not great. We didn't end up with that much crit chance. We got 9 extra fruits from Fruit Baskets. I guess Fruit Basket is pretty bad on the Jack, so although I think normally this is an automatic purchase, maybe on the Jack you're supposed to pass on it. And then, what else? 6 regen from the Baby Squid. The Fishhook cursed 1 item, I think. No, it cursed the Starfish in the Ashes. So actually, the Fishhook was pretty good. We got 3 powerful cursed items. So that certainly wasn't awful. We got 0 HP recovered from the Adrenaline, because we had this Tardigrade. Oh, by the way, the Tardigrade I only bought because we had all these triangles of power, so obviously you want to try to maintain your damage with the triangles. And because enemies hit so hard on the Jack, Tardigrade is a little better on that, on the Jack than on other characters. And that's pretty much it. 11 harvesting from the crown after the game ended. Alright, my friends, hope you've enjoyed that run, and of course, if you have, feel free to leave a comment and hit like. Helps me out with the algorithm, so I appreciate you taking the time to do that. And of course, you can subscribe to my channel for more Brotato and other strategy game analysis. Cheers, friends. I'll catch you next time.